We'll continue our driver meeting availabilities in advance of Sunday's 18th Annual Hollywood Casino 400. Joined now by a guy who had a pretty decent week last weekend. Driver of the number 10 Smithfield Ford for Stewart Haas Racing, Aric Almirola. Aric, welcome. And we'll go straight to questions from our media. If you'll raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you.
Didn't all of you ask me questions like 4 days ago?
Let's start up front here with Bob, then we'll go to Dustin.
Bob Parkhurst, ESPN. I have two. First off, was there anything that happened this week that really kind of put the win in perspective, or just was like, oh my gosh, it's been so long and it's such a big relief?
I think the one thing that kind of hit home for me was when we were at the shop talking with Johnny and stuff and talking about Texas, Martinsville, Texas, Phoenix. I mean, those are the 3 races we got left. I mean, besides this one, we're already looking ahead. And for me, you know, sitting down and talking about that, like, we are literally racing for a championship all the way to the end of the year. Like, we will find out in the second, you know, the second to last race of the year on whether or not we're going to have the opportunity to go to Homestead to race for a championship. That is an incredible feeling to know that we are right in the thick of it, all the way down to the wire. That's something that I've never had, you know, as an opportunity in my career. So it's just a really good feeling, and that kind of hit home for me, thinking about, you know, going into that round of 8 and battling for a final spot in that final, or for a spot in that final 4 going to Homestead.
And you're doing the tire test on Tuesday at Charlotte. Are you going to learn much about that package? Can you, with only 4 of you there?
I don't know, but I think it's still good for us to get experience and get laps on the racetrack with the new Ford Mustang. You know, that's the most important thing for us, is to you know, start to wrap our hands around and wrap our heads around not only the new package, because we have a pretty good idea on the new package, but that was with the Ford Fusion at the All-Star race. So just kind of, you know, working through some aero stuff and some different things with that new Ford Mustang. There's been a lot of behind-the-scenes work getting ready to unveil the Ford Mustang for 2019, and then now to put that to application on the racetrack. We'll be the first ones to have a Ford Mustang on the racetrack, making, you know, competitive laps with it. So that'll be just a good opportunity for us to collect data. I don't think we'll put too much stock into you know, the raceability or anything like that, just because there's only a handful of cars, and, you know, we're expecting more pack style racing. So it won't be as much about that as it will be just getting data on a brand new race car for us.
We'll go to Dustin and then Nate.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. What is the challenge in coming into a weekend when in one sense it doesn't matter? I understand that there's still playoff points to get, so I know that there's still focus. But, you know, there's several other guys that need to win this race to advance, and there's others that are trying to. But for you to kind of enjoy the win, take the, I don't know if it's a step back and then have to get back hard into it, what kind of a challenge is that for you and the team to not lose momentum by kind of catching your breath?
So there's really no step back. I think if anything, you know, it allows us to be less guarded, right? There's no, coming to Kansas, there's no downside and only opportunity for upside. If we wreck on lap 1, it doesn't matter. We're still going to the round of 8. If we win both stages and win the race, we can have 7 more points when the points reset next week. So that's really what we're looking at, is there's like, everybody would love to have that bet in their stock portfolio, right? Like, you can only go up and you can't go down. Like, that's what we have. That's the opportunity we have ahead of us, is that there's no downside going into this weekend and only potential for upside.
We'll go to Nate Ryan.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Aric, when you look at that round of 8, you'll probably need to either win one of those or finish at least top 5 in all 3.
Yep.
So how does that lay out for you? Do you think you can win one, or do you think you can get there just consistent?
Well, I think that's twofold. I think if you have to run top 5, there's no doubt about that. We're gonna have to run top 5 and run up front. We're not, running 15th at any point in those 3 races is not going to be good enough. But when you run top 5, you're putting yourself in position to win. Like you look at all these races this year, and there's been races that I feel like we've been the dominant car, Chicago, Loudon, and we didn't win. And then you look at Keselowski at Indy. He was not the dominant car, didn't have the best car. He won. Darlington wasn't. Dover, the the dominant car was the 4, and then when he had his trouble, we were the next best car, and Chase wins. Like, you don't have to be the dominant car to win. You have to run top 5. So I don't think that changes anything for us going into that round of 8. We've got to do what we've been doing. And I feel like if you look back at our last couple months, we've been a top 5, top 7 car. So if we keep doing that, it'll put us in position to capitalize on opportunities to win races.
Additional questions for Aric? Aric, thanks for joining us, and good luck
Yep.
this weekend.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it.